You're listening to Talk Radio, the nation's interactive station.
Ground control to Major Tom.
We've been expecting you, Mr. Boyd.
His is the worst voice you will ever hear.
Will he offer me his teeth?
The Tommy Boyds Show will teach you nothing. Nothing.
Always read the labels.
Nothing but iniquity and wickedness.
You really bug me, then I'll say goodbye.
Morning. I wonder if you could settle an argument for me. I'm always fascinated, I'm sure you are, we all are, by all the things that we do in a sheep-like fashion. We do so many things just because that's what you do. And there's one area of human activity which quite frankly is ridiculous. I honestly believe it is largely repulsive, and yet you have spent a large swathe of your precious lifetime doing it, under duress, not enjoying it at all. Free call 0500 10 53 89. You might be doing it tomorrow night and Saturday night. You might even have been doing it last night, but you didn't enjoy it. Not one bit. You could have even paid money to do it, and you didn't enjoy it one bit. And you can't do it, and you know you can't do it, but you don't know why it is, therefore, that you do it. And I'm talking about going out dancing. Now, I'm not talking about cum dancing. Those people are to the world of enjoying yourself what train spotting is to the world of enjoying yourself. I'm talking about disco dancing, nightclub dancing. I'm talking about trendy dancing, modern dancing in darkened rooms where people are allowed to make up the movements by themselves, and the music dates from at least, let's say, more or less 1961, 62, something like that. Now, you've done it, I've done it. I have no idea why, because I hated every minute of it, and so did you. But this is the question. This is the argument I'd like you to help me settle. Because more than one of the men who work on this program genuinely believe that from time to time they have managed to impress girls when they're on the dance floor. And, madam, I need you to tell them that that has never been so, not with one white man on planet Earth, and never will be. And whatever it was that they were doing on the disco dance floor, on the nightclub dance floor, or around somebody's house when somebody put some good music on the stereo, whatever it was they were doing, no woman has ever found it luring. Free call 0500 10 53 89. And men, come on, let's be honest. Men, sir, yes, you, sir, I'm talking to you. You hated every minute, didn't you, when you were on the dance floor? Unless you're drunk, in which case you probably think you can dance a bit, but you kind of don't really care that people are recognising that you're making a fool of yourself. You don't give a hoot. Now, I'm talking about those occasions when, one, you knew that you had to go on the dance floor, that was your only chance of starting a conversation with that girl that you quite like the look of, or two, you get led onto the dance floor 3 months later by the same girl because, well, she just expects you to do it and she wants you to do it, and she finally gets after you and says, oh, come on, let's have at least just the one dance, and so you're led by the wrist onto the floor and you do it. And, sir, let's be honest, you stand there feeling a fool, don't you? Because you know you can't dance. You're European. You can't dance. Now, I'm careful to draw a distinction between men who can't dance and other men who can. And all I'm saying is, you, sir, you're European, you can't dance, you know it. Why did you do it? Why didn't you just say no? There isn't a single male aged over 17 who hasn't made a fool of himself on the dance floor and wouldn't do it again, actually, if the same set of circumstances arose. It's sad, it's weak, it's embarrassing. It embarrasses other people, it embarrassed you. So why did you do it? Why did you ever think you were any good? Free call 0500 10 53 89. White men can't dance, and it's a simple fact. I'm sorry. I've spoken to people at the Royal Ballet who've told me that there are physiological reasons why white men can't dance, but it is true, isn't it? Interestingly, though, we know it's a fact, but is it racist to know that and to say so? Free call 0500 10 53 89. What are we going to do? Ban it? You can't do that. Discourage it. Somehow you ought to be able to do that, shouldn't you? When you go to nightclubs and discos, you still get that conditioned response. Women, as soon as the current dance single is played will pile onto the floor and dance with each other. You get 5 and 10 girls together, handbags in the middle, dancing, whooping, really genuinely enjoying themselves. And some white women can dance, no doubt about it, down the disco. No question about it. Some women can. No men can. But nobody minds women dancing who can't because they genuinely enjoy it. But on behalf of all men listening, let me ask that question, why? Why do you enjoy it? What do you get out of it, apart from a jolly good workout and a lower drinks bill than we men? Free call 0500 10 53 89. In 100 years' time, when the DJ slams I Will Survive onto the turntable, 87% of the women in the nightclub will go, ooh, and dance to that one. And good luck to you, because there you're making a political statement, and that has 10 times more integrity than the men who will try and do Mick Jagger to dance Jumping Jack Flash or whatever. Free call 0500 10 53 89. And I'll leave you with one other thought. We must be the only country on earth that doesn't have a war dance or a stirring national anthem, a call to action. Look at the Marseille, look at the Star Spangled Banner, look at the Maoris, look at the All Blacks when they come over here to play their rugby. Look at the pom-pom girls, the cheerleaders that they have in the United States for their gridiron matches. These are all war dances. We haven't got one, nor have we got a stirring national anthem. I just wonder whether the time... Well, what do you say? Free call 0500 10 53 89. I'm Tommy Boyd. This is Talk Radio. There's a good argument for listening. Here comes Richard calling from Birmingham. You're on Talk Radio. Richard, hello.
I'm sorry. Sorry. I'm still laughing.
You're still laughing?
Yeah, I'm still laughing. Being a black male.
Well, yeah, is it racist to say that therefore you are probably quite a good dancer?
No, it's not racist, because it's true.
Now, if it's true, it might be true, but it still could be racist.
Well, that's probably why racism occurs, because the white guys are jealous because they can't dance. That's why they don't like us.
All those guys in the Ku Klux Klan just jealous because they can't boogie.
It's because they can't boogie, sorry. And another thing, talking about music, that's why you get these guys into Oasis and Blur and The Jam, because they can't. It's something that you don't have to be able to dance to, because you jump around, but like some sweet soul music or whatever, you've got to have rhythm, and they can't get away with it.
I have a theory that white men can dance a bit if they go up and down, but they can't dance at all if they go from side to side. Are you with me on that? Do you see what I'm saying?
All backwards or forwards?
No. They can't move through the horizontal, but they can pogo and, you know, kind of stomp a bit. They can make noise with their feet. They're all right at that. Am I right?
You're right.
Yeah. They look like they're trying to put out a forest fire.
Well, that's why... What was that record called? The Stomp?
Yeah.
That's what it was made for, so you could enjoy a record and say, yes, we dance the black music.
Yeah. So you're a good dancer?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Yes, you would.
No, I wouldn't.
Hey, come on.
No, I'm terrific.
And you can't learn it. It's genetic. You can either do it or you can't.
It's true.
Isn't it?
It's true, because I can't waltz.
No, and you wouldn't want to, would you?
No, I wouldn't.
Would you want to do the foxtrot? No. It's interesting, isn't it? Do you know, just whilst we're nattering, I've never seen any black couples on Come Dancing. Have you?
Never.
Not the programme I watch.
Well, it's Olympic sport now, by the way.
Ballroom dancing.
Yeah.
But we're really talking here about disco dancing. What you watched guys at the nightclub and at the disco looking appalling.
Right.
Why do they do it?
I think it's
obligation
and the sheep.
Yes.
Because if somebody told me if I was to cover myself with flour and look white and I'd be good, I wouldn't do it.
No.
But if somebody told me if I danced and I looked like a black guy, I probably would do it. Sheep.
Richard, have a good night out on Friday night.
I will.
Going dancing?
Babysitting. Saturday night.
So you would be now aged?
31.
Yeah. God. No more dancing for you until you're an old man.
No, I will never embarrass my child.
Richard, thanks for your call.
All right, bye.
Good to talk to you. Bye-bye. Gary calls from Belfast. You're on Talk Radio. Gary, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tommy.
Gary.
Hi. Yes.
Go.
Yeah, well, I'm the sort of guy who, over the years, has danced either on my own with friends, with girls, and I've never done it yet to impress a girl. Ever. I just do it because I enjoy doing it.
No, you don't.
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, come on, fella, be honest with yourself.
Honestly, I mean, I'm such a poor dancer.
Well,
That's so mean. I'm under no illusion that I could impress anyone, therefore I don't even try. But I still enjoy dancing, yeah.
so what do you dance to?
Well, Gibson Brill, you name it. I'm a child of the 70s, and I dance mainly to disco numbers.
I've never seen a white person, a white man.
I'm a white man.
Male. I've never seen a white male who I felt was genuinely consumed by the music to such an extent that his body wanted to sing it. And that's what dancing should be.
Yeah, but very often you're consumed with other imbibements.
Oh, you're drunk?
Encourage you. Well, slightly, yes.
Have you ever danced sober?
Oh, yeah.
Well, why did you do that?
When or why?
Why?
Because I like dancing. That's what I like to do.
Why?
Because...
Go on, I'm going to play 7-year-old with you. Why?
Why do I like dancing? Because I think it's whenever the music comes on and the mood takes you, you go and you move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Are you pretending you're in the band?
No. This is not. I'm not in a sort of a fantasy land here.
And did you dance with your mates, do you?
Yeah. Well, and going back to the sort of middle to late 70s, I would have maybe 5 or 6 of us together dancing in the middle of the floor. It was a rather sad-looking spectacle. Having said that, we were still up for it, did it? And we never got girls out of it.
No, well, you wouldn't, would you? You'd have stood a much better chance if you'd stood at the bar.
Yeah, probably.
So you actually were... Well, surely you weren't trying not to meet girls.
We weren't trying not to, but I mean, if you saw the state of us in the late 70s with the platform heels, the whole story, the collars down to your ankles.
You were a pretty unattractive bunch.
We were really, yeah.
Right. Gary, thank you for your call. Jason calls from Hull. You're on Talk Radio, Jason. Afternoon to you. Hello, Jason. Hi.
Hi, I'd like to point out that my nickname's King of the Groovers.
Oh, it is.
And it's so rightly and, may I say, proudly earned. My dancing's excellent, and I attract a lot of attention from females. In fact, a lot of people request it. It's what you call in the 90s pulling power, Tommy, and it works.
Give me a break.
My feet are magnets to the metallic shine of a lady's lips. Yes, and I don't make a fool of myself.
Tired lines from when you failed the audition for Blind Date, pal.
Hey, no auditions for Blind Date. We're talking about dancing, Tommy. Come on, read the same sheet of music.
Oh, goodness me, Jason.
Yeah,
you're the king of the dance floor in your own mind.
King of the groovers, yeah, it's a fact.
You know what the girls think, don't you, when you get out there on the dance floor?
I love it, Tommy.
In your flares.
I love it.
And
without a doubt, the best.
How do you do it then? Okay, how do you do it? What sort of dancing do you do? Flick-flacks?
Tipple tails, somersaults.
Do you have gymnastics, you prune?
Hey, I am coordinatingly attractive. I'm king of the dance floor.
You're very short.
No, actually, I'm 5'8".
That's very short.
That isn't very short. What are you talking about?
Short. You're a short house.
No way.
Yeah,
you're 100% wrong, Tommy. You're full of proverbial wind.
Because nobody who could ever do a flick-flack was taller than about 5'6", and actually you're not 5'8", you're 5'6", aren't you?
No, I'm not.
You are.
All right, I'm 5'7" then.
There we go. We're on the move. We're in the right direction here, Jason. Don't worry. We'll have you as tall as a Manchester United forward in 10 minutes.
That is short, Tommy.
That is short.
It is. You call yourself a student of human nature, and yet your observations in this case are terribly misplaced.
I know where I'm coming from, sir. I'm on home territory here.
You're totally out of perspective. You haven't seen anything.
You bring your voice down an octave or two. You're claiming you're 19 here. But you could still get a job with the choir, couldn't you?
You're insulting me now. You're insulting me to get your points across because you know you're wrong.
How dare you? If anybody wants to come and cross swords with me on the important issue of male dancing and why white men think that they should do it, they're in for a hard time, Jason, because I know what I'm talking about.
Well, I'm crossing you. You're just trying to provoke an argument.
Well, let me pull rank then for you. It's generally accepted that one of the all-time great disco dancers and world disco dancing champion in her early 20s, a woman who now hosts for MTV in New York, a lady called Julie Brown. Okay?
I've heard of her.
Well, no, because you don't know your subject. I do.
You're just making one point.
The point is this, she and I were an item for 6 months, and I used to have to go dancing with her.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how embarrassing that is?
Yeah, that's because you can't dance.
You're damn right I can't dance, and
Men in general can dance, and it's an art.
It isn't.
In fact, it's better than an art. For me, it's a religion, and
Somebody-
for my audience, it's a must-see. And you haven't seen me dance, so you can't judge me. You can judge yourself.
Are you white?
Yes, I am.
You can't dance.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't. You've got no
what's that
rhythm.
got to do? What's colour? That is racist in itself by saying that white people can't dance.
I also want to have that conversation. Why should it be racist?
Because you're... Well, sorry, let me rephrase that. It's prejudice. Because you've seen a select member of white people who can't dance.
I've seen tens of thousands of white men making fools of themselves.
Tens of thousands.
Maybe hundreds of thousands.
When?
All over. Rio, De Janeiro, Paris, Milan.
Which
New
clubs?
York. What do you mean, which clubs? There wasn't a club I didn't visit in Rio. You can do that in a
yeah.
fortnight. Yeah, easy, man.
I think you're making it up.
I've never made anything up. I'm here to tell you, man, you can't dance.
The fuse in your argument's not lit, Tommy. I'm
You're
sorry,
a
but
joke.
you're losing this one.
You're a joke.
You are losing this argument, and you
Do you
know
have any
it.
idea how they snicker about you and the ladies?
Yes, because I go in there. No, I'm only joking on that one, but... No, in fact, I've told quite a few times on the dance floor.
Don't do it, Jason. Learn to speak. Learn to have some witty, original conversation.
Sorry, it's your conversation that's not witty or not original.
Unlike that stuff you started off with, all those stock lines.
Yes, I'm just telling you the truth. What's wrong with telling the truth? You're not telling the truth. I mean, you probably, in all honesty, think that dancing's excellent and you can dance, and I reckon you were jerking about that.
No.
Just to make your argument.
No, sir.
You're right.
Never in a million. Bring that voice down, will you? I've got headphones on here. You're sounding like a bat on heat.
You do it all the time, I've been listening all the time. I mean, trees should be chopped down and endangered species should be killed. You don't believe that. You're only saying it so people will ring in.
Jason, I'll see you in court. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Men can't dance. Come on, let's be honest. Ring up. Tell me now. Tell the world. We knew it all along. We couldn't admit it to women. We couldn't even admit it amongst ourselves. I don't know why. Probably because we all knew and silently agreed it was the best chance we had of eventually finding a girlfriend. So we went along with it. But we hated it. We are men, after all. Free call 0500 10 53 89. I'm Tommy Boyd. This is Talk Radio. There's a good argument for listening. We're having a go at dancing, and people who do and think they do. And am I right in thinking that everybody now has an uncle and his girlfriend who go line dancing in the village hall? Where has that come from? Although, to a certain extent, I can understand that, because it's almost like square bashing set to music, isn't it? And people can do that. But as for disco dancing, men can't do it. White men cannot do it. Plenty of women can. For some reason, the black community are blessed with an ability to dance. It's a simple fact, but is it racist to acknowledge it? David calls from London. You're on Talk Radio. David, good afternoon.
Hello, Tommy.
David.
You are right.
Right.
100% right. 100% black people, to me, right, they've got an inbuilt rhythm. It's just a natural thing. It's just natural. It's not, I think they're just born that way. Yeah? I mean, if there's music playing, right, and you watch the crowd dancing, you can always spot the white chap.
Yes.
Not because he's white,
no.
How he's dancing.
Jerky.
He'll be dancing his own different tune.
And he has to decide what to do with his hands as opposed to letting the music decide.
That's right.
Yes.
He's getting busy for himself, right? But it's not to the record that's actually playing.
But is it racist to acknowledge that this is the case? Because we know it's true.
Yeah, it's not a racist thing. It's just like white people tend to go potholing. Yeah?
Now, is that racist? Do you think black people never go potholing?
No, they don't.
They don't, do they?
No.
Aren't they shrewd, really?
Well, it's just something that you notice. If there's a hole, a black person will just walk past it. Oh, there's a hole.
A white guy climb down it head first.
That's right, with a little light.
Why is that?
I don't know. But that's not a racist thing. That's something that they just do. You see?
That's funny.
It's not a racist thing.
You could make a movie, couldn't you? You know what was that film with Woody Thingy, White Men Can't Jump?
Yeah.
Yeah. You do a British version, couldn't you? You get one of those little indies in Soho to make a movie like Full Monty, black men don't go potholing.
That's right. It's not a racist thing, but it's just, it's something I can't see. I was wondering, well, what's the big deal about going down a hole? I thought, and they squeeze themselves for it, but it's not racist, that's what they want to do.
Yeah. In their spare time.
That's right.
Because there's no money in potholing, is there?
No. No, what? It's the interest that they've got. I don't know, but I don't think it's a racist thing. But I don't know. It's the sort of thing that a black person wouldn't really do for some reason.
No. And do you feel sorry for white men trying to dance when you see them on the dance floor, or are you glad they do it because it, you know?
Well, he's enjoying himself.
Gives you a laugh. But they're not. This is what you don't realise. They're not enjoying themselves unless they're very drunk. They hate every minute of it.
Well, I don't know. I see them doing it. I wonder, well, does he realise the rhythm's actually going like this? I mean, I've seen it many, many times. Carnival
is a lot later than it was, and it was Aristophanes.
Yeah. Listen, you're just sitting there, right? You've got that thing on your head. Right, and you're completely in the dark, you're completely blind, you don't know what I look like, where I'm coming from, or nothing. Yeah?
Yeah, I know, I was mental pictures I was creating.
No, come on, what kind of a mental picture do I give you then?
I think you've got a flat cat, you've got a whippet, you've got some pigeons in the loft, you like 3 or 4 pints as long as it's got a good head on it.
I've been
Can't
around.
understand why these southerners don't like a head on their pint.
I've been down the south, I lived down there for 20 years.
Don't want to talk about Newcastle United any longer because you're having a bit of a dodgy time.
You don't make me bait, Tom. I'm too clever for you, mate.
Is that right?
I've been around. Dumpcoff.
Yeah.
Stroke for him.
Well, I'm more Geordie than you are. I'm more Geordie than you. I'm more Geordie than you are, then, Frankie boy. I can tell you. Yeah, I tell you what, you're a funny tribe, you Geordies, aren't you? You're a funny tribe.
What's up, mate?
Eh? You are, aren't you?
Yeah.
When you think about it.
You my brothers come down there.
Yeah, that's not very good, really. Well, I mean, if you want Geordie, Frank, I'll be away for a wee while.
That's not bad.
I know. Well, I'm not. Well, then, man. Heathen.
Oh, yeah, I'm over here. That's Japanese, Geordie.
You can't speak Japanese?
That's Japanese, Geordie. Oh, yeah, I'm over here.
You can't speak Japanese?
That's Geordie Japanese, man.
Yeah, we're running...
What does that mean?
Yeah, what, Frank?
That means throw a hammer over here, Geordie.
Yeah. Well, I hope I hope that little workout did you good, Frank.
Listen,
think carefully.
I'm the greatest dancer in the world. Forget about all that.
Right. Think carefully before you call next time.
I think you're a bigot.
A bigot.
You know what a bigot is, then? He's somebody who thinks he's right all the time.
Frank in Newcastle. Free call 0500 10 53 89. But they're not all like that. Dave calls from Oxfordshire. You're on Talk Radio. Dave, good afternoon.
Tom.
Dave.
Dancing is the vertical manifestation of the horizontal desire.
So what must white men be like in bed? Hey, God.
Why is it as well, as soon as white men become dads, they lose all their rhythm? Hello?
Yeah, I'm not with that remark. Do you want to elucidate?
Well, have you noticed that some guys, whether they be black or whether they be white, as soon as they go back out there after X amount of years of not going out, and they have a dance at a local disco, they've just got no rhythm.
Yes, now that is an interesting point. Let's chew that one over. Presumably, they don't need to pull any longer, so they don't have to look good.
It's just out of practice, I think.
So they dance like that because they don't need to try and look attractive any longer.
It's like a Thunderbird puppet that's had one of their strings cut.
Yes, that's true. Yes. And there's a certain desperation that men have when they just had babies. Have you just had a baby, by the way?
I've got one coming.
Yeah.
I used to go to a lot of raves and that, and spend 10 hours dancing all night with artificial aids. Yeah. And that's that's all out of the way now. Obviously,
yes.
Now I've got a baby coming. I'll put the radio on and give it a bit. No rhythm at all. Yeah. What's going on?
Your best suit, once you've had a baby, is a pair of old tracksuit trousers and a T-shirt that you don't mind getting sick on.
Status quo tour 1977.
That is a long way away from that 90 quid shirt which I expect you bought once. Hey? Yeah.
Borrowed.
Yeah, yes. Well, welcome to the rest of your life.
Excellent.
No more dancing for you. Phew.
Let's just hope it's worth it.
Phew. It will be, mate.
I'm sure.
Best pull in the world.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Cheers, Tom.
Ta-da.
Take care.
And you.
Bye-bye.
Andrew calls from London. You're on Talk Radio. Andrew.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Andrew.
I used to DJ in London at one time when I was a student. I actually noticed that beats like, for instance, beats like house, all right, and things like what's it called? Heavy metal. You understand me? Which doesn't seem to have any constructiveness in terms of the rhythm and all that kind of thing. I noticed a lot of white men love that kind of dance. That's why house was so popular in the 80s.
I see.
It was, just jumping all over the place and wiggling your hands without no technique or anything like that. You get what I'm saying?
I do get what you're saying.
And I think that was one of the things I observed most, really. And I think I don't know. Maybe it's just when I've tried with some of my friends that are white, really. I was joking with them one day, and I just beat a drum. You understand me? Like tap, and I said they should dance to that.
Yes.
And the guy danced out of sync. And I was saying, why? Why is it that when it gets through your ears, you can't decipher it? It's a code. It's a kind of code. And you got to sort of decipher it. It's just like me playing with a computer now, yeah?
Yes.
And then you use Windows 95, and then you just you are deciding to sort of like go onto DOS 6.22. I mean, you are not sort of like responding to that program that is coming up on the screen.
Yes.
You are deciding to go somewhere else, and I think it comes down to that kind of thing, really.
I think that's a very good analogy that you made there.
Yeah.
I do. I'm grateful for your call. Thank you, Andrew.
All right.
Enjoy yourself.
Yes, yeah.
Our next caller is Simon, calling from Hampshire. Simon, you're on Talk Radio. Good afternoon.
Hello?
Hello, Simon.
Hello, Tommy.
Simon, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show again.
Nice to hear your voice.
Yes, nice to hear yours too. You're talking about dancing, Tommy.
Can I just refresh the listener's memory? The first time we talked, I believe you explained to us about your objections
to homosexuals.
Homosexuals.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
The second time you were on, it was during a conversation about answering machines.
That's right. Yes.
And we were able to pin you down on the fact that you if you were forced, you would sooner have an answering machine in the house than a homosexual, even though you don't like answering machines.
Mm-hmm.
What can we do for you today?
Well, you're talking about dancing. I can tell you a thing or two about dancing. It's ridiculous. I hate dancing. It's not something I've ever done. I've never taken part in it. It's just a waste of time. It's just making a fool of yourself, making a public mockery of yourself. It's not something I've ever done. Ever. Never will do. It's stupid.
Are there any particular worries that you have about how you might be perceived if you were seen dancing?
It's funny you should say that, because I was just about to come to the point that it is the, it is really the pastime of homosexuals. They do dance more than straight men. Yeah. And I mean, this might seem like a warped view to you, but this is my view, and I see things differently in a better light than you do. And I think that, if you look at the majority of homosexuals, they do enjoy dancing, ballet dancers.
But they're better than straight men.
I beg your pardon?
They're better at dancing than straight men.
They're not.
They are.
They're not.
Yeah, they are. Nureyev?
Realistically, they're not better at anything than straight men.
Nijinsky?
No, Tommy, no. You're wrong.
Yeah, it's a fact.
You can't endorse... I said this when I phoned up the first time. I don't want you to endorse homosexuality on your show, and you are doing.
Let them have the dancing, man.
Let me have my say.
Let them have their dancing.
Tommy, I don't think they have the right to anything, to be honest with you. They don't have the right to anything. They're unnatural.
Simon, stay where you are.
Okay.
And we'll continue the conversation. Or indeed, if you would like to take up the baton against Simon from Hampshire, free call 0500 10 53 89. I'm Tommy Boyd. This is Talk Radio. There's a good argument for listening.
Interactive station. Free call 0500 10 53 89.
In this hour of the programme, we've been talking about dancing. Not come dancing, but the dancing that people do in nightclubs and in discos, where people are allowed to express themselves freely. I thought it would be liberating for us men to be able to say collectively, for the first time, we hate it, and we hate it because we're no good at it. Both those things are simply true. The idea that some of us have actually managed to attract wives and girlfriends through our dancing is, of course, an enormous piece of fiction which is worked on us by the commercial forces that run discos and nightclubs. We look like fools. But Simon is on the line from Hampshire, and he says it's worse. We look like homosexuals.
That's true, yes, you're right. We do.
Which is
a bad thing.
Yes.
A very bad thing.
And you're at work on all of that.
Yes.
You've never danced at all?
Never. Never in my life. I've never been to an establishment where dancing takes place.
What about in your own bedroom?
No.
If the radio is inadvertently tuned to one of those stations?
No, I don't dance, Tommy.
Have you ever gyrated your hips at all for any reason?
Tommy?
What?
I think you're being insulting. You're getting personal again. You've done this before to me.
No, I just am helping you, see the whole picture. You've never tapped your foot?
Well, yes. I mean, I've tapped my foot. I haven't actually danced in a public place.
Have you ever ever done any finger drumming on the desk?
Yes.
To what?
Well, to a tune. It's not the same. It's not dancing.
How about air guitars?
No, Tommy, I don't do stupid things like that. That's just stupidity.
If Rod Stewart happens to be on the radio singing Maggie May, do you never get your hairbrush and... Maggie!
I don't do that, no, Tommy.
Why
I'm
not?
a sensible man. I don't indulge in ridiculous activities, pastimes. I just don't do things like that, Tommy.
I see. Let me bring Keith into the conversation, who's calling from Essex. Keith, you're on Talk Radio. Welcome.
Hello there. Yeah, what a boring fart that Simon chap is.
Well, he's still here, so you can tell him to his face.
Oh, hello, Simon.
Hello?
Yeah, God, you are a boring fart by the sound of you.
Listen, Keith, I don't want you to insult me. You're You're ridiculous. What are you saying? You endorse dancing? You dance? You endorse homosexuality?
I like a bit of ballroom dancing. I think if I yeah, I mean I've got very loose trousers, so I've got plenty of room for it. But I mean if people want to be homosexual, that's up to them. As long as if they don't involve me in it, that's entirely their prerogative.
Well, there you go again. You're trying to separate yourself from the problem. This is what happens amongst all society. You're trying to separate yourself from the problem. You're saying that you don't mind, but really
you're separating yourself from heterosexuals by the sound of it.
No, I don't think so. You are with the common conception that homosexuals, they're fine as long as they don't interfere with you. Well, you're wrong.
That's
Deep
fine.
down, you only say that because you feel a social pressure to conform to these norms. You're wrong, and I want to try to make everybody see that really they're being pressurized, and they're from external forces, and they're not able to have their own opinion. In reality, we all know. Humanity knows that it's abnormal.
What's abnormal?
Homosexuality.
Well, in that case, then a homosexual will think that I'm abnormal for being heterosexual.
Homosexuals' opinions, to be honest with you, with all due respect, don't really count.
Who says what is the right? What is the right way to be? Providing you're a law-abiding citizen.
Do you want me to tell you how they define abnormality? Abnormality is defined as people in a minority compared to the majority.
Fine, okay, so you're in the majority. In the minority.
Are you homosexual?
Does that make the Tory party abnormal at the moment, then?
Very well done, very well.
Keith, I'm very grateful to your call, Keith. Thank you very much indeed for being with us.
Silly man, if I may say so.
Robert has called from Coventry, who would also like a very quick word with you, Simon.
Simon, we've spoken before, do you remember?
You're the Satanist, are you?
No, I'm the atheist. You're the one that was telling us about the devil and that homosexuality came from the devil. Do you remember that?
Yes, I think you've twisted my argument somewhat, but...
No, simply answer the question. Did you say...
Yes, I remember you from the last time we spoke, yes.
Right.
You're a silly man. You questioned me.
Oh, you don't like being questioned, do you?
Not when the other person's opinions are wrong.
Yeah, in America, they've recently done some research on homophobes, and they wired their penises up to while they watched gay erotica, and they were finding that the worst of the homophobes were getting very firm erections while they were watching homosexual...
I can't believe that.
Well, I'm not really interested in whether...
There's no way of proving it to me. There's no way I can believe that, and I don't think that sort of activity would be endorsed. They wouldn't be allowed. It's morally wrong. It's unethical.
Robert, I'm grateful for your call. I'm afraid the queue goes round the block to have a word with you, Simon. So perhaps you'd like to say good afternoon to Carl, who's calling from Blackpool.
Good afternoon.
Hello, is Simon still there?
He is, yes, I'm still there.
Is that you, Simon?
Yes.
Have you ever enjoyed yourself at all throughout your entire life?
I have done, frequently.
And what do you do in your spare time? Jigsaws?
I have done a jigsaw or two.
You have done a jigsaw or two in your spare time. I thought you might have done.
Why?
There's absolutely...
What are you saying is wrong with that?
I think dancing is a high form of self-expression.
Don't be
a much
ridiculous.
higher form of
It's just a
self-expression.
medium in which to make a fool of yourself. It is just ridiculous. In public, it is ridiculous. People who do it are ridiculous.
Why if they enjoy it?
Sorry?
Why is it ridiculous if they enjoy it?
I don't think they do enjoy it. Tommy said earlier.
What do you mean you don't think they enjoy it?
Sheep.
All you've got to do is look at them to see they're enjoying it.
There's two different schools on this matter. There's the professionals who do it for a living, who can do it properly, they're trained, and yes, fair enough.
Professional dancers.
But the people who go down on a Saturday night onto the dance floor and dance...
That's like saying you shouldn't have sex unless you're getting paid for it.
It's not.
Because if people enjoy sex, like people enjoy dancing.
It's not. It's completely different.
It's not different.
It is.
You don't have to be a professional to do something.
Carl in Blackpool, thank you very much indeed for your call. Simon, I find myself in bed with you on one point.
Oh.
And that what?
Poor choice of words there, Tommy.
Oh, sorry. And that is when you say that dancing is something that men shouldn't do because it's ridiculous.
It is.
But the way in which you usurp that well-known phrase that dancing is a vertical expression of a horizontal desire, and in your world it is the vertical expression of a homosexual desire. Well, I'm afraid you
Not
and
my
I...
world, my opinion. Don't make out that I'm in a different world to everybody else.
I can't let you get away with your insinuation that all men who are good dancers are homosexual.
No, I didn't say that. I'm just merely saying that homosexual people do engage in dancing more than heterosexual.
Right. Because there are a lot of very butch men who have made a living dancing.
That makes no difference.
George calls from Brighton, and he would also like a quick word with Simon. George, you're on Talk Radio. Good afternoon.
Hi, Simon.
Hello.
I think you're a totally misguided fool, because basically I'm doing psychoanalysis at university, and it seems you've got a classic case of Freudian. Your id's trying to come out with suppressed desires. You really want to be a homosexual. Or you're just totally jealous of skills of those homosexuals who are actually good dancers.
I'm completely at peace with my sexuality. It sounds as if you're the one who should be questioning.
I work in a nightclub, and a large proportion of the people who run the nightclub happen to be gay as well. But when it comes down
Shouldn't
to
be allowed.
Well, I totally disagree, because at the end of the day, they bring something, they add something to the night at the nightclub. We have mixed nights, which is, when it's say mixed, fully mixed. You have gay people, you have straight people, all mixed together, and they're the best nights to go down, because everyone joins in the fun, and when you've got people who are up for dancing, and everyone else joins in.
People feel pressured into joining in the so-called fun. There's nothing fun about it. They are, as I've said countless times, they're pressured from external pressures into having these views. You say you're studying psychology or something. You should know, in that case, about the roles of social conformity and all these sort of things. People are pressured from the external, extraneous forces.
Let me just answer your question. Why do they bother going down to the club? Do they feel pressured? Do people grab them off the street and force them to go into the club?
I don't know. I can't get into the minds of these people. I can't get into the minds of these people. I have no desire to. Tommy?
Simon?
Have you had people phoning in agreement with me? It's just something I want to know. All these people are questioning me and
No, Simon, this is an entirely democratic process, one of the few that are left in the Western world, and we take calls of quality, of course, but in the order in which they arrive. So you can speak now to Steve, who is calling from Hertfordshire. Simon, who wants to support what you have to say? Steve in Hertfordshire, you're through to Simon in Hampshire.
Hello there, Tommy. Hello there, Simon.
Hello.
I just wanted to say that I agree with you entirely in as much as I think dancing is a ridiculous exercise for men to partake in, and I myself, as you have said, have never done anything like that.
And on the homosexual debate, what do you think of that?
That's a tricky one. I would agree with you that homosexuals in general would prefer dancing to heterosexuals.
Thank you.
And I would agree with you that they make a better job of it than heterosexuals.
No, I never said
that. So
are
you saying, the two of you then, that you can spot a person who's more likely to be homosexual if they're dancing well?
Yes, absolutely. Well, by the way they move, I've said before, by the way they speak.
I remember, Simon, you saying that you felt that you could tell a homosexual even if you just went up to him in the supermarket and asked where the biscuits were.
And by the way they move.
And in
they
bars.
are of a different breed.
And in nightclubs, the way they were dancing.
Yeah, by the way they walk, by the way they move, by the way they dance.
Do you think that men who dance an awful lot are more likely to become homosexual?
And not to become, but they probably are already. So I don't know why, but homosexuals seem to have a tendency to want to dance.
Right, but it doesn't lead to homosexuality.
Not necessarily,
But it
no,
can
but
do.
you never know, mixing with all the wrong sorts.
You're saying it could do?
Well, I'm not one to pass judgment on that. It could do, yeah.
I'm only helping you explore your fascinating mind, Simon, and once again, we're very grateful for having been allowed a brief tour.
Yes, well.
Thank you, Stephen Hertfordshire, and you too, Simon.
Thank you.
Until the next time, both of you gentlemen.
Cheers, Tommy.
Free call 0500 1053 89 is the number. I'm Tommy Boyd, and this is Talk Radio.
Don't forget to subscribe and like. Comment too if you wish. Even slap your legs and make a purchase from Ann Summers. But don't do nothing.